There's 7 basketball moves that beginners absolutely need, and of course advanced players. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly what those moves are, how to do them, and some drills to perfect them. Coach Jesse Minshew with Get Handles Basketball, where I show you how to play like the pros. If that's something you're looking to do, make sure you click that subscribe button and that little bell icon and get on that notification squad so you can catch the newest videos the second they come out. Let's jump into these moves. This first move is simple but deadly and much overlooked. It's something that players can pick up in minutes, okay? All it's going to be is dribbling and jabbing with that outside foot. So if the left hand's dribbling, right foot would step out to sell a fake. Now, it's more to it than that, right, to make it work. I mean, if you do a step like this, that's really not going to get the job done, right? So a couple key tips you want to pay attention to. First of all, when you step out, you want to make sure that step's about twice shoulder width apart. That makes a little bit more movement into the fake, right, and sells it a little bit more. Other key tip is pay attention to that dribble timing. Notice as the foot steps and hits the ground, the ball's also hitting the ground at the same time. That way, when I get the ball back, I'm in position right away to push off and go in the other direction after I fake my defender up. Couple other key tips. Make sure you're looking in that direction, right? A fake isn't gonna work real well if I'm looking this way and I'm stepping out, right? It makes it seem like, okay, he's planning on coming back this way. And then the other last thing you want to pay attention to is a little bit of hip and chest movement, okay? Leaning into that fake just a little bit. You don't want to come outside this knee though, because that's going to put you off balance and make it hard to change directions, and it's just bad for your knee, okay? So stay inside that knee, but lean into it just a little bit, okay? Those are all the key things you want to pay attention to. So here's a quick way to make sure you're doing those things and mastering it. Set up 2 cones, shoes, whatever objects you got, but make sure they're somewhat low, at least knee height or lower, okay? Set them up about twice shoulder width apart, and you're just gonna work on this move by touching the cone. Touching the cone. Come upright, touch the cone, okay? Just repping that out will get you in the habit of taking that step out, getting low, leaning into that fake a little bit, and putting your eyes in this direction, right? All those pieces are super important. You can rep this out for about 1 minute going one way and then 1 minute the other way, okay? To take it next level, make it a little more game specific, you can just come from this and drive all the way to the basket or go into a jump shot. 10 repetitions each side, once again, will be about good. Next move is a deadly one. It's one that can send defenders flying and then again come in the other direction, really fake people out. It's basically the Iverson cross, but there's different ways of going about it. I call it the jut cross to get the basic idea across of stepping out with this foot, whichever hand has the basketball, and then selling a fake and crossing over. Now, you can play around with the timing, just doing it more quick. You can do it with the hesitation and going into it, and you can do it from the move, stepping out quick, and then putting that extra fake in before changing directions. But a lot of the key points from the last move, the out jab, are gonna come into play with this. Making sure you're getting a good jab, about twice shoulder width apart, probably a little bit more for this one. Leaning the hips and the chest into it a little bit, and the eyes going in that direction. The timing of the dribble will be a lot different though. You're gonna have the basketball in the hand while you're doing this fake, and then you also wanna use the basketball a little bit to sell a ball fake. Now, it depends on the player's level of ability and their quickness. If the player has good handles and is quick, they might wanna show the ball and bring it out a little further to really sell that fake with the ball. If they don't have as good of handles and aren't as quick, they might wanna keep it a little tighter, right? So just give a little movement out, but don't completely extend the elbow. A couple key tips that'll help the player depending on their level of ability. Then, the thing you can do to master it is, again, set up cones a little bit more than 2 shoulder widths apart, so about 2.5, okay? All you're gonna do is set up more in front of one cone, and the key on this, make it kind of a game, is to float the dribble for as long as you can, and at the last second go into that fake. Float, last second go into the fake. Float, last second. Key tip I can give you on it is to pay attention to when you feel gravity starting to pull the ball down. And then at that moment, then go into the fake. And then you would do the same thing going the other way. Float, go into the fake. Float, go into the fake, okay? One other thing, make sure that the kid, when they're doing this, doesn't carry the basketball. One final thing, make sure when doing this, the hand doesn't come under the basketball like this when they're doing the float, because technically that's a carry. Try to have it more to the side, right behind here. Usually if you're here, kind of riding that line, most refs will be okay with it, and if it is a problem in your league, just have them pull the hand up just a little bit more to the top of the basketball instead of right behind it. Next move is the sharp cross. It's basically your basic crossover on the move. There's gonna be some key differences though from the last crossover, so you wanna pay attention. When we're doing this move, it's more about speed and a quick change of direction, not really about selling a big fake. So, the thing you wanna focus on is as soon as this foot touches the ground, boom, push that ball across right away and try to make a sharp change of direction. So if you're moving one way, you would want to move 90-degree angle change, okay? Those sharp changes of direction are what allow players to create space, get past defenders, break ankles, all that cool stuff. Simple thing you can do is just set up 2 cones about a long lunging step apart, okay? Take one hard dribble, make that change of direction fast, okay? Key things again to focus on is the second this foot touches the ground, push that ball across. Don't hang out with the ball, don't lean into this fake, none of that. Foot touches ground, push the ball across, get to this side, 90-degree angle change. Do that for about 1 minute and you can repeat on the other side. Coming here, boom, quick angle change. That's pretty much it. Simple move but deadly. Works, doesn't have to be flashy. This next move is a definite must-know for players. It's a great way to create space for shots or just free up space when there's a pressure defender. A lot of times back in the day, players were taught to do the retreat dribble. Well, nowadays it's more about the step back, and I much prefer the step back because the retreat dribble is more slow and doesn't really put you in position to attack. The difference with the step back is it's more quick and abrupt, and you're getting your body squared back to the basket so you're in position to attack in either direction and see the whole floor. Whereas the retreat, you're kind of blocking off some of your vision over here. It's slow and you're really only in position to attack this way unless you've got a really good handle and you can go to behind the backs and spins really, really well. What we're gonna do for this to master it is focus on, kind of like with the out jab, the first move that we did, it's like that, but the angle change is gonna be the difference, okay? So same dribble timing, same keys are gonna be coming in place, and then there's some turns of the hips as you'll notice. So we're gonna start squared up, having the 2 cones about a long lunging step apart. We're gonna step with the opposite foot more forward, stepping in hard, and then hopping back and turning the hips so they come back squared again. Turn, hopping back, square. Notice how both feet land on the ground at the same time. That's a key point because if you do that, that allows the player to go into a shot really quickly, or they have their options to come this way, whatever they want to do. Again, you can rep this out for about 1 minute, one side, and then come to the other. Boom, squaring back up. Boom, squaring back up. Great way to get out of high pressure situations and create space for easy shots. This next move is a must-know move, but I feel like most players aren't really being taught it and taught it properly at a young age, and it's behind the back. A lot of coaches might look at this being a flashy dribble. I disagree highly because the behind the back is a great way to protect the basketball while again keeping your body squared to the basket so you're in position to attack either way, quickly go into shot, right? All that stuff. And then you don't have to sacrifice protection over the basketball. But the problem is most players don't really have a good behind the back. And a lot of it is just because they aren't taught to practice it at a young age. And I feel like they should. Key tips we want to do for this, we're not using cones, anything. We just want to make sure players are getting it down and being effective with it. Pushing the basketball hard is key number 1. A lot of times when I see players do the behind the back, they'll kind of just drop the basketball here and then they have to look for it. It's slow, it's ineffective. They're looking at the basketball for the entire dribble. It just doesn't work in games, right? So they want to get out of their comfort zone and pound that dribble hard, okay? Have them think about it as just basically being a crossover. It's the same motion, you're just doing it a little bit further behind you. That's it. The other key tip is to have the second hand that's gonna catch the dribble low, waiting to catch it, right? Because again, a lot of times they'll push it across here and then they look for it and then they try to get it with their hand way over here. If they get it down here, now they can get a feel for the basketball low, where the basketball is coming in the hand early in the dribble motion. So now even if they don't have complete control over it, they can kind of get that control by the time it gets all the way over to the side of the hip here, okay? So pounding it hard, trying to grip with the fingers is the third big tip. So when it gets into this hand down low, grip it with those fingers, okay? Grip it, okay? That's pretty much it. Just repping it out though is huge. Key tips I want to give you is when they're learning it is dribble behind, dribble behind. Don't let them spend 30 million dribbles doing regular dribbles like this to set it up though. They won't get enough reps in to get it down quickly. So what they'll want to do is work on just going 1 dribble behind, 1 dribble behind, 2 at the very most, okay? Once they get that down, have them work on just going back and forth behind the back, trying to keep that dribble below the butt, okay? One final key tip I can give you, and it might sound funny, have them slap the same side butt when they release the dribble. That'll make a consistent release so they don't have to look at the basketball. They'll know where it's gonna end up every single time and they can start to get the feel for it. That will make it a lot easier for them to get it down if they're doing it regularly. Next must-know move is one that I feel like, again, players aren't being taught enough or definitely aren't being taught to do it correctly. So almost every time I work with a player for the first time, when they're like 12 or younger, their mechanics are really, really bad on this, and it's the spin move. The way I always teach players it so they can get it down is to go into the thing that I've been talking mostly about not to do, which is the protection dribble. Now, I'm not saying I have a problem with the protection dribble. There's times and places where you need it, but to learn the spin move is the perfect time to put it in place. You'll want them to start up a little bit more sideways, right? Not squared up, more sideways to the hoop. So this way, they can get in the habit of pulling the ball back. The big thing I always see with players when they're going into their spin move is they'll switch hands here already and push. The problem with that is, if you switch hands here, what can the defender do? Steal it and get an easy, fast break as you're turning here, right? They're gone. That's not a good look. You want to make sure that you're keeping this offhand hand here, pulling the ball back, same side foot comes back, then switch hands, okay? And what we essentially are doing is only doing like a half spin, quote unquote. Not like the actual half spin move though, where you would come like this and come back, right? We're just starting sideways, pulling back a little bit, then switching hands, and we're gonna repeat going the other way. If this hand's gonna pull the ball back, then this foot's gonna come back, then switch. Okay, and I'll just have players rep this out tons and tons and tons of repetitions until they get it down. And then maybe I'll have them start working on doing it more on the move, where they'll come, stop, plant with this inside foot, pull the ball back, same side foot comes back, change directions, and then they can repeat coming down the court going this way, right? Okay, this final move is super important for multiple reasons. Number one, it's gonna open the mind as far as what the possibilities are, as far as getting crafty with footwork, bringing coordination to a whole new level, and just opening up some new ways of breaking down defenders so they can start understanding the importance of what their feet can do. This is a little bit more of a mental workout too to get down, is crossover and step to the opposite direction. I call this the Psyche Cross, some people call it the Bulldog Cross, the Harden step. Steve Nash used to do this move, James Harden does this move, but the key is that you're crossing over and stepping out in the opposite direction. So it brings together pieces of that regular crossover with that out jab step, the very first move we did. But as you can tell, ball's coming one way, foot's moving the opposite. So if the right hand has the basketball, right foot's gonna step out, okay? Kind of messes with the head at first, gonna mess with the defender's head though too. Great way to sell a quick fake and come back the other direction. Like the first move, pay attention to that dribble timing. Stepping out the same time that the ball is hitting the ground will make it a more quick, rapid fire fake and then quick change of direction. So the second that the defender's moving this way, you can start coming back this way. All the other key tips of that first out jab are gonna come into play, right? Getting low, making sure you're leaning into that fake just a little bit, all that. You probably know what we're gonna do for the drill. Same thing as the first thing, we're just adding the crossover. So instead of doing this, we're doing this, okay? Set back up, step, okay? And again, this can be repped out going to the hoop, going into jump shots, like all these moves pretty much in the drills. About 1 minute each direction, so going the other way like this, coming back that way would be a great way to make sure that they have both hands down, doubling the options on the court and becoming a lot more effective player. So look, if you found this video helpful and you want your kid, or if you are the kid watching this video, and you want to take your handles next level fast, click that top link in the description down below. That's a 100% free workout called the Defender Destroyer Workout. That's already helped thousands of players expand their handles quickly, and I'm sure it'll help you too. Just click that link, pop in your email, and I send it right away for free. And if you found this video helpful, make sure you click that subscribe button and that little bell icon to get on that notification squad so you can catch the newest videos the second they come out. And check out this video and this playlist. You'll probably like those videos as well. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more and make moves today.